Okay, so hello everyone. Alright, so in this video, what I want to do is instead of actually, so in the last video we did eliminating the parameter by turning a parametric equation into a rectangular equation in terms of x and y. And I did it doing two ways, right? But now it's time to actually learn how to graph a parametric curve given x and y. Now, the reason why I worded this question the way I did is to give you guys a hint of basically, so my main thing is that however the curve looks, whether it's like this, so let's say this curve was really a parabola, right? You have to not just graph the parabola, but put little arrows that indicate where the curve is being drawn in. Now you can have that, or you can also have something like this. It really depends, and that's why when you graph these, you not only have to graph the curve or trace the curve, but you have to keep in mind what direction is it headed to. Similarly, if I graph something like this, it can either be like this, oops, or like this. So let me actually redraw that. So like this, basically. Or it can also be like this. So there's many ways that you do it, but in this specific example, I'm going to how do I say it? I'm going to do a table, and this table, depending on whether t is increasing or decreasing, and depending on how the shape of the curve looks, we will be able to draw our arrows, okay? So let's start. Let's just go ahead and do this. So first I'm going to do a table of values, okay? I'm going to do 3 columns, t, x, and y, okay? So those are my 3 columns, or rows, whatever. So basically, I'm going to put in terms, so I'm going to say if t is equal to, I don't know, I'm gonna try to go as low as I can, so -5, for example, or even, I can say even, I'll do -3. So if t is equal to -3, what is x equal to? Well, I'm gonna just do x equals 2 times -3 minus 1. That's x equals -6 minus 1, so x equals -7. So that means that when t equals -3, x equals -7, and then when t equals so basically, and then when t equals -3, y is equal to -3 quantity squared, so it's going to be y equals 9. So that's my first point, -7, 9. Then I'm going to go down, so I'm going to say at -2. When t equals -2, I'm going to just plug in, so I'm going to say x equals 2 times -2 minus 1. So x equals -4 minus 1, x equals -5. So I'm going to put -5 here for x, and then I'm going to say for y, when t equals -2, -2 quantity squared is going to be 4. So when t equals -2, y equals 4. And I'm going to keep going down the row, so keep going down the row and decreasing in terms of decreasing t values. So I'm going to say -1, and then 0, 1, and then 2, and I'm going to go all the way up to 3, okay? So then I'm going to say, okay, if t equals -1, x will be 2 times -1 minus 1. That's x equals -2 minus 1. X equals -3. So I'm going to put -3 right here. And then when y equals negative, or when at y equals t squared, when t equals -1, y equals -1 quantity squared. So that's going to be y equals 1. So I'm going to put it right here. And then at t equals 0, I'm going to do the same thing. So you're just going to keep doing this, evaluating t for these specific numbers or values of t, and you keep doing that until you have a full list. Now I did it from -3 to 3 because it's just because of my what is it called, like, depends on sometimes they're going to give you an interval, other times they don't, so you kind of have to like see, okay, if I plug in like 9 for x, is it going to give me a big number? Like, it really depends, and that'll tell you like how to draw your graph, because it'll tell you, okay, what is the least x, like the lowest x term, and what is the highest x term, what is the lowest y term, what is the highest y term. So yeah, now we have x equals 2 times 0 minus 1, that's x equals -1, and then y equals, for t equals 0, y equals 0 squared, which is y equals 0. And then for t equals 1, so x equals 2 times 1 minus 1, so it's going to be 2 minus 1, which is 1. This is equal to, this is x equals 1, right? And then for y, you're going to do the same thing. So it's going to be y equals the quantity 1 squared, so it's going to be 1. And then for 2, it's going to be x equals 2 times 2 minus 1, x equals 4 minus 1, so x equals 3. So when t equals 2, x equals 3. And then y is just going to be y equals 2 squared, which is y equals 4. Okay, so we're going to put 4 here. And then finally, when t equals 3, x equals 2 times 3 minus 1, which is x equals 6 minus 1, which is x equals 5, right? And then y is going to equal, when t equals 3, y equals the quantity 3 squared, which is 9. Now, to graph this, you're going to want to do a x and y coordinate. So basically, you're going to want to go ahead and do, and look at your lowest x term. So here, my lowest x term, or lowest x value, is x equals -7, right? Yes. And then my highest x value is x equals 5, right? Now my lowest y value is 0, so my lowest y value is 0, so y equals 0. It's my lowest y value. And then for, so like that, and then for my highest y value is going to be y equals 9. I know I have two values of 9, so you just choose the highest one. It's really just 9. It doesn't matter if you have two y values that are the highest number, right? Give me a second, guys. Hold on. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look. I did do a little bit, like, I did from x equals -7, I kind of did to -8. That's just where the arrow goes. And then for x equals 5, I went up to 6. Just, you always want to go a little bit more. Well, I just did it like this. But as long as, you know, when you graph it, as long as it fits in your graph, that's all that matters. And same for the y value. I went from y equals 0, since, you know, the y value doesn't really matter because you just go ahead and plot it wherever it is. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and plot our points. The first one is -7, 9. So let's go ahead and plot that. -7, 9. And as we go, we're going to go ahead and I believe it's right here. So we're going to, as we go along, we're going to go ahead and put the t value. T equals, this is t equals -3. So that way we know where to draw our arrows, okay? Once we trace the curve, we can draw the arrows, right? And then we have -5, 4. So -5, 4, which is like right here. Okay. And then we have, let's see here. We have -3, 1, right? So -3, 1 is right here. And then we have -1, 0, so right here. And then we have 1, 1, so right here. And then we have 2, so give me a second. We have, my bad, we have 3, 4, so like right here. And then we have 5, 9, right? So 5, 9, which is like, I want to say it's right here. Yeah, right here. So it looks like a parabola, even though honestly it's not, how do I say it? It's not 100% accurate. So give me 1 second. So now we're gonna just draw a rough sketch of this curve, and we look, and if you look very closely, yes, this is a parabola. Now, what I want to make sure that we understand about this is that, so like I said, as we go along, we're gonna put the t values. So at -5, t was -2. At -3, so at -3, t was -1. At -1, t was 0. At x equals -1, t was 0. And then at x equals 1, t was, at x equals 1, t was 1. So t equals 1 at x equals 1. And then at t equals 2, x was 3. So this was t equals 2. And then at let's see here, at t equals 3, so x was 5, right? So this is t equals 3. So now, what does this mean? This means that we're going in this direction as we are tracing our graph, okay? And I don't think it matters how many arrows you put, just as long as you put the direction of the arrows or the direction of the curve, because that means that as we're increasing by t value, we're going down and then we are going up, okay? And that is how you graph this this parametric equation. That is, if you don't solve for, sometimes we want to make sure that we understand how it looks when we're not actually solving for any variable. Now there was another way to do this, but like I said, if they wanted you to graph y equals or x equals, or just by eliminating the parameter, then this would be very different. It wouldn't have the t equals part. But since this is a parametric equation and they wanted us to graph the parametric curve, then we have to make sure that we put the direction that that the graph is going to as t increases, okay? Alright guys, so that is it for this video. I know it was a pretty long one, I do apologize, but I really wanted to make sure we understand how to do this. It is a pretty long video because, yes, we had to do a table, etc. But with that being said, guys, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.